Hi, welcome to On the Chain. This is Jeff here with co-host Chip. We are coming to you here live in full
Live.
high def 1080p.
What the,
I don't know why I just said
what's
that,
going
but
on with
it's
you tonight?
hilarious. I was just reading that on the screen. Man, crypto dad, Daddy Gensler. What is going on with all these dads in the crypto space? But you know what? Crypto regulations are coming. Can the U.S. lose their seat at the table? Will the market cap go up 10x? And the biggest question of all, Chip, can XRP be the savior of crypto?
We're about to find out, Jeff.
We are.
Go.
Welcome to On the Chain.
Welcome to
we
On the
are.
Chain, Jeff. On the Chain. So. What are we talking about? Oh, yeah. So a bit of news here. Let's jump in this one real quick because yesterday we talked about the distribution of solo tokens. Tonight we are going to talk about the distribution aspect ratio for the solo for Coreum, better known as Core, C-O-R-E, Core. So this came out a couple hours ago, but again, now it's coming fast and furious. And so if you hold solo on centralized exchanges, we strongly advise to contact them to support the Core airdrop to ensure that all solo holders will be included in the next snapshots. And so there it is right there. And the other tweet.
What's up, Aussie M8?
And let's take a look at the, if people recognize this, if you happen, what's going on, Matt? If you guys happen to have your solo sitting on one of these other participating exchanges, you're covered. You know, you recognize, I'm not going to go through them all. But again, if you guys go to the Coreum Twitter, you'll find it. But there's some things in here I've never heard of before, Jeff.
Chip, can you read each one of them and open them?
No way, man. I'm not doing it. Have you ever heard of Handbitco, though? I've never heard of that.
I have not. I've never heard of Liquid.
Liquid, of course.
I've never heard of Indorex.
I have Coin One Liquid on my phone.
What is that? Indodex?
How about this one, Jeff? Big one.
Big one, dude.
That's a big one, Jeff.
That's a big
massive.
one.
My God, it's big.
Got to get that exchange just for that. What do you trade on? It's a big one.
Just go to the big one. Don't worry, you'll figure it out from there. Exmo, Probit, I've heard of course. Elapal is, of course, the hard one. And GateHub. Yeah, there's a lot of
Coinfield affiliated directly with Sologenic.
Yeah. And then there's their decentralized, which is the Sologenic DEX, which I believe is built on the XRPL as well. You got Zum and Pocket Bits, which that's another new one I haven't heard of. So these are the exchanges. Now, if you don't see an exchange, like, for example, you do see Uphold in here, but if you do see an exchange that you have your coins on, why you do that, completely up to you. It's not on here. You have to reach out to them because they strongly, where is my tweet here? Yeah, they strongly encourage that you could contact these exchanges. And something happened to Jeff. We were having some difficulties earlier, and he'll probably be
all right. I was cracking up.
I saw you laughing, Jeff. I don't know what you're laughing at, but there's always something to start cracking up and trying to be doing some real serious
action. Talking about the exchanges and making sure you move stuff, and I'm over here cracking up.
You're over there laughing, and I try not to look at you because then I start laughing. It's not good, man. So, yeah, that's the participating exchanges. And let's go over to, where's the other?
And that was the official report.
Wait a minute. What am I missing here?
What are we looking for?
I was looking for, there it is. That's what I was looking for. The first airdrop ratio for solo holders. Jeff, this is where we find out what did we actually get. If you were holding solo when the first snapshot happened on the 24th, we're going to find out exactly how that worked out. Core drop, the 13 snapshots, 12 distributions scheduled for the airdrop. First snapshot was completed at 8:09 p.m. UTC on December 24th. Very close to the actual solo snapshot as well. Second core airdrop will be taken randomly between January 1st and 31st. Now, if you're holding solo, then you will be able to get the Coreum or the core airdrop Only Solo holders that held Solo on decentralized wallets have been included for the first snapshots. However, the SDF team started contacting all the centralized exchanges that supported the Solo airdrop to support Core for their Solo holders as well. You can find the list, which we just looked at. Of course, they encourage them. So what's the total number, Jeff, of Solo holdings participating in the Core airdrop?
22. Whoa.
And there it is.
66 million.
66 million total participated. That's how many people participated as Solo holders. And it worked out to 0.0114 Solo or Core per each Solo that you had. Now, what's interesting about this is that was the first snapshot, obviously just showing the math there. But what I find interesting is that the next snapshot, let's see. Now look at the next snapshot. It's going to be somewhere in January, somewhere between January and the end of February. Now, what's interesting about this is, remember that if you are holding XRP for the Solo drop, you won't receive that until January 20th. So my mind starts racing thinking, okay, well, they probably would be more best to offer it do the snapshot after the 20th. That way, anybody who's still, they received their airdrop of Solo would qualify for the Coreum drop. And then the one from December is actually going to drop in February. And there's the schedule right there, all the snapshots. And you can see that this takes you through December of 2022, which is December 2021 through December 2022.
They did a really good job here. To really truly incentivize anybody to hold Solo. So if you have XRP, you're getting Solo. If you have it on the right exchange, you get that Solo. Now they're incentivizing anyone to hold that Solo to then get Core. It's really it's a great way to get people to, we were talking about that yesterday, to hold instead of to dump as soon as they get it and say, hey, it's a free $100 or whatever, people are holding out there.
Yeah, whatever it is. But I mean, don't forget, they're not launching the actual mainnet until August. And, it could potentially get delayed. That happens sometimes. It's just the way it goes. Look, the developers are doing the best they can. And sometimes you run into some issues. But again, you're getting what? So you're going to have December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, potentially August. So technically, you will have rounded up about 8 to 9 months of airdrops. It's issued as an IOU on the XRPL. And then what will happen is you'll be able to, right? It's a good thing, right, Jeff? I mean, a lot of people out there complaining, they're like, they got the pitchforks out, they got lit the torches, they're marching. And I'm like, what are you guys so crazy about? You didn't do anything to get it. And I saw a lot of people about the Solo one yesterday. They're like, they lied. They said it was going to be, well, if you can read, and maybe people don't read, they gave an example so that you could understand how the math worked and the formula. And again, they underestimated. They're very, obviously conservative, but they underestimated it.
Yeah, I mean, I do think it became a big shit show, with the airdrops. We talked about this a bit over the past couple of shows. A little bit of a detractor from the overall project. Look at XFi. We were talking about XFi earlier, and if you had some songbird sitting somewhere, all of a sudden you get XFi. Didn't have to worry about trust lines.
Please tell me,
had it
Jeff,
over on BitTrue, and I'm like, look at that. Got some.
I will gouge both of my eyes
XFi
out before I have to use MetaMask. I cannot take MetaMask. And by the way, who owns MetaMask? Your pal Joe Lubin owns it. That's who owns it, Jeff.
Create a hint around it.
Yeah, and it's like it's one of the worst.
My pal.
Yeah, what's the name of his company that owns Joe Lubin MetaMask? We'll pull it up here in a second. But yeah, he's the Consensus. So everything you have to use MetaMask. Why are we using MetaMask? I don't understand. I hope I never have to use it again, but I find myself having to use it more and more. Had to fish out the SGB out of my thing.
That?
Oh, thank you. Right there.
You're in good company.
Yes, very well. It's a poor experience. It's not a well-engineered product.
It's not that it's difficult to use, but it's a complete pain in the ass to use.
Well, it can be though, Jeff. The funny thing about it is, well, I mean, even fishing out my ledger, fishing out the SGB, going to XRP2, everything along the way was fine. But it's just like I didn't even feel comfortable using a browser plugin. You know what I mean? It's like I don't even feel comfortable with that. And some of the things that it did where, yeah, there was some shady stuff that felt a little bit off to me. Like, and again, every time I've had to use it, but I think the bigger problem, Jeff, are these ridiculous gas fees. Now, it wasn't so bad with SGB.
How did you move it?
Well, but it was the gas fees were burned on SGB. It wasn't actually, because it wasn't using Ethereum. But anytime I have to mess around with that, the fees are just getting silly. And you and I laugh about this all the time, where you basically want to move about $70 worth of something. It's going to cost you $200 in gas fees. I'm like, what universe does that make sense? They got to get a handle on this. And
dude, it's so stupid. It's just out of control. But I've realized that the only way to move ETH is if you move it in $10,000 increments.
Yeah,
right. Because then the gas fees might be considered okay.
I think so. I don't know. Notorious is like such a great, just a great chat. Comes in here. Notorious always throws a super sticker in here. Thank you for that, Notorious. Appreciate that. If you guys aren't subscribed to Notorious, you don't know what you're missing. And I've thought to myself, Jeff, often, like, where does the time come? And I know I had a conversation with them, like, how do you do all this? It's like, these videos are very intense and time intensive and everything. Jeff, I just happen to be scrolling through my feed, and this one right here makes me laugh. It's like,
hey, before you bring that up, Rebecca brought up a really good point. Wouldn't it be nice if there was an XRP airdrop for the XRP holders when the lawsuit concludes, kind of like as a thank you for hanging in there, everyone?
Yeah. Well, you get XRP. You get XRP. XRP for all.
XRP for everybody. How cool would that be?
Yeah, Jeff,
let it rain XRP.
Let it rain.
And the purpose of Ethereum seems to make a few individuals rich. All right.
All right, sure does. So look at this right here. So this just popped up on my feed. When BTC crashes, no problem. Say hello to Michael Trailer. Michael Trailer instead of Sailor. That's funny, man. People do some funny memes. I'll tell you. Yeah, so it's Michael Sailor sitting in front of a trailer park instead of Michael Sailor. It's Michael Trailer. That was a good one.
When you need them, straight out the trailer.
Put out the trailer, straight out the trailer. Remember that? Straight out the trailer. Yeah.
So Marcos is wondering, do we know why XRP is tanking?
Because I've decided I want to buy some more. So just let it be. Everyone just kind of like relax. It's okay.
That's it. Waiting for it to come down.
You guys got to be a little bit more Sailor and less gloomy. Like, be a little more Sailor. Every time the thing drops, Sailor goes all in again. He like moves all his chips on the board and he's like, I'm all in. And you're like, well, what are you going to stop at 6.5 billion? No, not stopping at 6.5 billion. He's stopping. What is it? What's that Beastie song?
Never stopping.
No stop till Brooklyn. What
no
is it called?
Stop to Brooklyn.
No stop to Brooklyn, baby.
Right.
And he's probably in San Francisco right now. It takes some time.
Yeah,
that's what we're talking about. And you buy that dip. And again, it's not financial advice. It's just sound advice. That's all.
No sleep till Brooklyn.
No sleep till Brooklyn. That's it. No sleep till Brooklyn. He's in California somewhere right now. He's not even on Route 66 yet, and he's just acquiring. He's like that squirrel. There's always like one squirrel that's like getting all the nuts, got him fat in the cheek, attacking the other squirrels. That's Michael Saylor. He's a squirrel. He's gathering the nuts.
Oh, he's swirling around all the nuts. It's good.
And he's fantastic. I love him because he always has that scowl in interviews. He's like, I don't give a flying whatever. He just doesn't care. And some of that's fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you got to like it.
And he's going to have the last laugh when Bitcoin hits 100,000.
Yeah.
His portfolio is then 12 billion. That'll be nice.
Yeah, and the funny thing about it is at some point it's going to surpass the value of his company. MicroStrategy will be only a reason. I mean, the company itself without the Bitcoin holding, but it is MicroStrategy hold, right? It's actually his company.
Is. Yeah, yep. So that's actually cool. Pretty good.
It's kind of cool. I kind of like that. I kind of like it. I kind of like it a lot.
EC2189. I can't tell which gas is highway robbery, paying gas at Biden prices or paying gas at Lubin prices.
Wow, Jeff, that's something that ought to be on a shirt right there, man.
That should be.
That should be like, you have like somebody looking two ways, like choose between. The guy hitting the button. The panic button one where it's a little meme where it's the space guy and he's like, should have hit the meme. It's like Biden gas prices or a sale. It's like one of the two. Yeah,
Right.
or the Ethereum, So, just on that
Do
same.
I fill up my ledger with Ethereum or do I fill up my truck with gas? What's it going to be?
What's it gonna be, boy? Yes or no?
You think about the gas prices that go. Yeah, if you have to fill up your truck, going to be about $80. If you try to move some Ethereum, going to be about $80.
Can you imagine going to the gas pump and they're like, well, so I bought $40 in gas, but it cost me $120 in gas fees. What the hell?
I was using my crypto.
Like Jeff, you want to talk about pitchforks and torches? People would go crazy, just in like a small neighborhood. If they pulled up to the pump and they're like, yeah, I got $40 worth of gas, but it cost me $120 in gas fees. Well, what? But everyone's like cool with it. It's like, well, it's just crypto and that's just cool. We're all right with it. Crypto already put this great video out. This is the Bankless guys, which they wrote a good podcast. But this is they had on Vitalik Buterin. He's the star and co-founder along with Joe Lubin. I never heard him either. But anyway, apparently. So this is an interesting interview segment that she pulled out here, but here it goes. Let me know if you can hear sound, Jeff.
Someone's a big fan of Ethereum.
Actually, this reminds me of a fun fact from my recent trip to Argentina. So guess what is the alternate layer one that the people just using cryptocurrency on the ground for commerce in Argentina are using most often, that as far as I can tell.
Bitcoin?
No, Bitcoin's also expensive, right?
Oh, okay.
It's one where transactions are extremely cheap.
Okay,
XRP?
well, let's go through it. Is it Matic?
No.
Is it not Matic? Is it Terra?
No.
Solana?
Wait, I think you might be right, Ryan. I think it's Tron.
XRP.
Binance? Is it going to be Tron?
Okay, Tron is probably one of the number two. Like, what's the number one?
XRP. Of course.
Binance Chain?
It's Binance, not Binance Smart Chain. Binance the centralized exchange.
Okay. For doing what? What are they doing on Binance?
Like they just need.
What is going on in this interview? I mean,
I have no idea.
I was in Argentina.
What are they even talking about?
I'm like, if you're just like some casual observer, Jeff,
Yeah.
would you be shocked that this guy's worth a couple $1 billion? I mean, I might just like, what?
Well, based on that artwork that he has behind him, are those curtains? Trying to figure it out.
I think that's
a shower curtain.
Painting before the show. It's hard to know, really, but
might be
anyway.
a painting.
Cryptocurrency for payments. Like one of them was just a coffee shop that accepted crypto. There are a couple of other businesses. Like when I ask if I can pay with ETH, they just show me the QR code of a deposit address, and like it's just obvious that they're used to like Binance to Binance transfers, which are instant, right? And like my Ethereum to Binance transfer has to wait for 12 confirmations in the app. So. Yeah, there we go. That's that.
Well, there's a strong advocate for his own product right there, and it gets even worse, Jeff. That's the best part. This is the most positive clip. I thought I was playing the other one first, but this.
Oh, where's the one when he talks about when they're?
That's the next one I want to show.
So far, that's the Ethereum killer.
I'm gonna put that on. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to
that's
show
the
that
Ethereum killer. Did you hear that? You missed that part.
Oh man.
So far, it's the Ethereum killer.
Hang on a second. I thought we were abandoning that one, but let's see. There we go. There we go. Here we go. Let's play.
Here's
again.
somebody that knows what they're talking about. Sir John, painting looks like Edo Murdoch's works.
Is Binance like an alternate layer one in your mind, or like I've always thought of
ultimately it is, right? Like sure, it's like a guy's database, but if we're talking about people who don't care about the level of decentralization, then like
how about if we're talking to people that don't care how much gas fees they pay? I mean, let's all pretend the king has the clothes. It's like, what are they talking about here, Jeff? Holy canals!
Did you see that picture he's got up on the wall?
I did see it. Yeah, it's
got a Ethereum logo.
Does it have an Ethereum logo on it?
Yeah, pull it back up.
I'm not pulling that one up again. We're moving on, Jeff. I was trying to find. Here's the one I was looking for right here. Here we go. Here we go again. Let's see. They got to make it easier to share stuff with. Here it is. All right. Let me go ahead. And this is the one. Okay. So here we go.
Vitalik, give us
There you go.
I guess the high level overview. So we started this episode. You said you felt like you could be convinced in saying that Ethereum is maybe 50% of the way done. Okay. Does end of these things after the merge, surge, purge, verge, splurge,
6 years.
Are we at 100% at that point in time? Is everything done?
I would say so. I mean, there are a couple of these longer term extras that we haven't talked about, but it would probably take too long for us to talk about all of them. But I feel like, and I do think that like none of these roadmaps are final, right? Like these roadmaps are kind of my attempts to reflect the current rough consensus of the research team. So like there are new things that did not exist before, right? Like PBS did not exist a year ago, and so you did not see PBS in last year's roadmap. So there might be a couple of things, but I think once all of these things are done, like I will say this, if this is all done and then nothing else ever changes after that, then I'll be extremely happy, right? Now, like I feel like this covers everything that's like necessary for Ethereum to not only survive but even thrive going into the long term.
So Ethereum is. I was just going to ask as well the timeline. So Ethereum is 6 years old. How long is this going to take? Is this going to take another 6 years?
I could definitely see all this happen in 6 years. Yeah.
And what would this mean for anyone who is still living a life on the layer 1? With the expansion of the number of shards and also the size of shards, does that mean L1 gas fees are going to come down, or what's the deal with that?
I mean,
No.
in the short term maybe, but I think realistically in the long term, using L1 is just going to keep getting more and more expensive. So you like, as a user, I think like you do need to be prepared for the fact that Ethereum already is transitioning away from being a layer 1 centric ecosystem toward being a layer 2 centric ecosystem.
Jeff, that is just the part that I like the best is when he says, the roadmap, it's not like set in anything. It's like just kind of a framework. Okay, we don't really stick to a roadmap, but it's hard to know if he really was saying, if he was talking, including the 6 years they've been around, because he asked the question, do you think this will take another 6 years? And he kind of said, I think it can be done within 6 years. But is that moving forward or including the previous 6 years? Hard to really know. I don't think he would volunteer an answer that says we're only 50, but they did say 50% of the way through.
But remember, one of the case points of
good point.
Our buddies over the SEC, Ethereum is a finished product. It's not in development. Babs and McGee in 6 years, Vitalik will reach puberty.
Potentially.
He's the banjo player in the movie Deliverance.
Oh, wow. It's getting really rough, guys.
That's good.
But the whole thing, they asked him, listen, I got to give the Bankless guys credit. They asked him some tough questions like, hey, do you think that the gas fees, layer 1 gas fees are going to come down? He says they're probably going to get more expensive. Okay. I would have been more politician-y there and said, well, we're working on the roadmap. Like, just avoid the question at all costs. He's like, they'll become more expensive.
Yeah, I'm here to talk about number 2. So Mofunk and I like this. I paid for that painting, moving $5 for $500 in gas fees.
It's about the size of it.
That's how Vitalik is buying those. I don't know how much that painting is.
Anyway, so thank you to Crypto Eddie for pulling those clips. Really just... I don't know. I mean, I don't even know what to say. I'm like, you got to give him credit. I mean, Vitalik's very open there, but I don't know what happens at this point, Jeff. I mean, like, where do we go from here? I mean, the gas fees are just getting crazier, and he says they're going to get more expensive. And when's it going to get completed? Well, nobody really knows, Jeff.
Nobody cares.
Nobody knows.
For war. Ethereum is becoming the elitist blockchain. Eventually, only the rich will be able to utilize it.
Ooh,
like that.
That's another bam. Yeah, well, that's... I don't think a lot of people really want to deal with it, but Jeff, you're right. If you're moving 10,000, 20,000 at a time, not so bad, right? In retrospect, but you're trying to just lose. I mean, it's not even scalable in that sense. And the funny part, I think Mo Funkin brought up as far as being a settled finished product wasn't that the SEC's main thrust of, XRP's, the Ripple, the products aren't finished. Well, which ones? I mean, they've released a bunch of stuff. They renamed a bunch of stuff. It's really crazy. So, meanwhile, they remember that video where they came out and said they just had to get it out there. They knew it wasn't done or really ready for prime time.
The whole thing is outlandish.
But they had to deliver it, right? So if you have to deliver it, you have to deliver it. So there's EC 2189 says, "My Lord, we can no longer afford rent and food. Everybody has pawned their belongings. Lower the gas fees. Duh. Don't need your love, Dave." Big bro. Okay.
Don't you love the fight, bro?
Don't you love the fight, bro? That's what it is. Thank you for interpreting that. I was having a difficult time. The upper and lower cases were throwing me off there, Jeff. I was having a difficult time reading that. So glad you heard him interpret for me.
Oh, yeah, it's good. I speak that language.
Good, man. I know people do that in tweets sometimes.
So check this out. So not Daddy G, but Crypto Dad, former Crypto Dad, Chris Giancarlo, former CFTC chair, proposes a means for unifying crypto regulation from the divided SEC and CFTC. I thought this was interesting because he was at the American Enterprise Institute. So he was talking over there and he came up with a proposal, which was interesting. So let me see here.
What was
so here
the
proposal? We have representing Coinbase as Kara Calvert, who joined the crypto exchange, blah, blah, blah. Head of policy. Calvert restated Coinbase's early proposal for a single regulator for digital assets. It's not crazy to think about a single regulator. So that's what she's saying. And then Giancarlo says they're absolutely right that there should be a single regulator. At the end of the day, you can't have multiple regulators, meaning you can't divide between the CFTC and the SEC. He's saying take the ad hoc cryptocurrency work group. So remember, they had the work group. They voted on it. So we had the ad hoc crypto work group that Jay Clayton created between the CFTC and the SEC and develop it into a bureau, a crypto bureau, which would have joint parentage of the SEC and the CFTC, but it would have its own authorization, its own financing coming from the two committee structures of the banking and agricultural committees. So I kind of like this idea because right now, what they're fighting for is each one of these groups are fighting to get control over crypto, and they want to divide it up. And that's why, Daddy G is trying to get the SEC to oversee it, and the CFTC is saying, wait, you're stepping on our toes. And Giancarlo is basically saying, hey, neither one of you guys should have control over it. It should be a completely separate group that would then a separate bureau, which would oversee crypto and have its lineage from the two, but not report back to, which I think is important. So he said here, he further envisioned that the bureau would combine the respective mandates of the two commissions and feature a leader of the crypto bureau who, like the leadership of the two commissions, is appointed by the president rather than hired by the commissions. And I kind of like that too, because if they're hired by the commissions, then there could also say that there's some allegiance to the SEC or the CFTC, and it could still get a little bit convoluted, a little bit too political, even though obviously we're seeing it's pretty much a shit show as it stands right now over the SEC. So I think it's interesting. What are your thoughts?
I don't know. It just seems, I don't know. This whole commission thing sounds a little bit odd to me, but I do agree with his main point that really has to be, you can't have this agency. It's like that, too many cooks in the kitchen. That's not going to work at some point. So I think he's right on about that. But I'm not so sure. I think really what's missing from the whole equation is the regulation, but you're right. Who's going to be I guess he has a point. Who's going to be the actual enforcer, or who's going to watch out? I just don't know if it's the SEC. I think it's more the CFTC, just because I don't think digital assets are securities, and I don't think really the SEC should be anywhere near it, especially Daddy G. I don't think that really should be something we should
get rid of him. Get rid of him.
Daddy G.
Get rid of him.
Do you know Daddy G?
Daddy G. Is that kind of like Kenny G?
Yeah, kind of like Kenny G. Depends which Kenny G you're talking about, though, because Gasparino always talks about Kenny G, but it's not the Kenny G you're thinking about, not the music Kenny G.
No.
It's not that Kenny G. So there's always somebody, you know. But I wanted to show this, Jeff. This is sort of one of these kind of conversations that. So I don't know, Jeff. If I say the name Richard Karn off the top of your head, do you know who that is?
Sounds familiar.
Okay, it does sound familiar. I'll show you why. I'll tell you why it sounds familiar. Because there's a show on in the 1990s, or maybe it was late 80s or 90s, called Home Improvement.
Mm-hmm.
And let me show you, just kind of refresh your memory. If anybody else out there, if you might remember, saw reruns of the show. But Tim Allen, left side, right side, Richard Karn. He was the guy that was a Home Improvement show. But what was his name on the show? Someone can tell us in the chat there. He was the guy that did all the stuff, right? Tim Allen was supposedly the guy that was supposed to do this stuff, but he was the guy that really did all the stuff.
Right.
Al, I think his name was it Al? Maybe
it was Al. I remember Al.
Yeah. So that's Richard Karn. That's who he played in the show. So he put this tweet out, and let's put it here. So he said, I've thought long and hard about NFTs, and I've decided it's not something I need to do. And that's what Richard Karn looks like today. Okay.
Holy cow.
Yeah, he lost a little bit of weight. Looks different. I never would have connected him.
Doesn't look like him at all.
To this guy in the, I just wouldn't have connected him.
Man.
But I mean, they both look a little, but even that looks more like him there. But I guess he lost a lot of weight. I don't know what it is.
Holy cow.
Right?
There he is there. Big beard.
See him right there, kind of like a rounder type of face. There he is there. Yeah. But you don't really recognize. So he's like, you know what? I've thought long and hard about NFTs. And I decided it's not something I need to do, Jeff. He doesn't need to do it. And I was like, okay, so my comment on that was, here's the same statement made 25 years ago. I thought long and hard about the internet, and I've decided it's not something I need to do, right? Because it's kind of the equivalent, because like 25 years ago, people are like, and I tell you that one time when I ran into a buddy of mine, he's like, you're doing that internet, what are you doing that thing? It's just, don't you think it's a fad? I'm like, no, it's not a fad. It's going to be awesome. You're going to do everything on the internet. Yeah.
Are you doing that internet thing? How's that internet thing going for you?
Building websites? That sounds stupid.
Doing that website thing?
That's what he told me. I was like, yeah, I'm building
websites. Come to you now. You still doing that crypto thing?
You're still doing that? The size of you. You're still into that crypto. You're still doing that Bitcoiners. Yeah, Bitcom. You're still doing that, Jeff? And I'm like, look, I know, look, to give Richard Karn, look, it was probably something, it's more of a funny thing he said. I don't know if he really believes that or not. But again, the thought there is that that's kind of where this offsets every once in a while. When my one buddy didn't want to get on social media, I'd be like, you would have been the same guy back in like the 50s when they had the party lines. Like, I'm not doing the party line. What if someone overhears my conversation? There's always a level of somebody not wanting to do it. Another buddy of mine says, like, I'm not doing social media because I want my privacy. I'm like, dude, you think you have privacy? What kind of sorcery are you laying on us?
Crypto G chucks AOL disk in the trash.
There you go.
You remember they used to come in the mail all the time?
Thousands of them, Jeff, all the time.
You just get AOL, sign up for AOL.
I knew people for years that couldn't cancel because they would give them like 3 free months. They would pay a month and they want to cancel again and get 3 more free months. Wow. Awesome. It was just a complete, it was a mess. But look, Richard Karn, I think he's just being funny about that. I don't necessarily think he believes that, but again, that's why I'm not going to put too much stock in it. And it's nothing to detract from what he's doing or who he is. But this one I wanted to highlight here just for a little bit of fun here. But let's look at this. This is none other than Brian Monarch. If you guys remember, he did the Bearable Bull. This is Brian Monarch, and Brian Monarch will be on the chain next week, confirmed today. So Brian Monarch, he's funny, does great stand-up comedian. But I want to say, plus he does the deep fakes. We looked at a little bit yesterday, but if you followed his deep fakes, they're pretty solid. But here it is right here. So tell me if you hear some sound in this. Let me put this full screen here. Make sure the volume is turned up. I didn't play it yet. Hang on. Here we go. Let me make sure we're back.
Drop. Here we go.
Got it?
A little light.
Drop. Here we go. Let's see. We got to. I think that's light, but this is good.
But in terms of risk and how you're thinking about it, what's top of mind right now?
I'll keep it short and sweet. Family.
religion, friendship. These are the 3 demons you must slay if you wish to succeed in business. When opportunity knocks, you don't want to be driving to the maternity hospital or sitting in some phony baloney church or synagogue. Questions?
Oh, God, that's so good. That is just so. I almost want to see it again. It's so solid.
Oh, you got to play that again. That was funny. Play that again.
I mean, you always get compared to Mr. Burns, but
Drop. Here we go.
But in terms of risk and how you're thinking about it, what's top of mind right now?
I'll keep it short and sweet. Family, religion, friendship. These are the 3 demons you must slay if you wish to succeed in business. When opportunity knocks, you don't want to be driving to the maternity hospital or sitting in some phony baloney church or synagogue.
Synagogue.
Oh my God. Oh my God. That's
that right there. Yeah. So Brian will be on here. We're going to be chatting with him, talking about, just a bunch of stuff. You guys, we're going to have a lot. We're going to have a fun time when he comes on the chain next week. But that right there, it's like something I must have watched it like 7 times just today. I think I watched it yesterday.
Oh my God. But that was too funny.
Of course, he did the Brad Garlinghouse, the Bearable Bull too. I don't remember if you saw that one too, but man, this is just some good stuff, Jeff. The Bearable Bull was really good.
That was brilliant.
Yeah. So what do we got here, people? Let me throw this. Let me see if I probably pull that one up again. Yeah, this is the one. Let's pull it
one more time.
We'll play this one a little bit. Just put the Bearable Bull. Yeah, the Bearable Bull.
Yeah, this
was
Here we go.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Bearable Bull here. And I got this aggressively average short for you today. As guys, XRP is finally waking up. This is still a bull market. Altcoin season will happen. You have not missed it yet, and this is the main event.
This is awesome stuff. But anyway, yeah, the deep fake of Daddy G is just absolutely on fire, man. Just on fire, on point, on fire. Good stuff, man. Makes you laugh. It's a little bit laughy.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
I have all this like home improvement on my screen now, Jeff.
That's what happens.
That's what happens, man. What do you want to jump into next?
I'm looking for something interesting. So when I look for something interesting, I always turn to our buddies over at Al Jazeera.
Oh boy. What do they got? What do you got queued up for Al Jazeera there?
So today, actually, they took the article from Bloomberg, so can't credit them for everything. But mystery surrounds the end-of-year windfall for Turkey's central bank. Right, so Turkey's central bank had penciled in an expected $5.2 billion loss on December 30th, but managed to end the year with a $4.4 billion in profit.
Preposterous, Jeff.
I mean,
how did that happen?
Holy
Sounds
crap,
like they had some squirrel nuts stashed away over there, huh?
Might have a little bit of a problem in accounting over there. Turkey's central bank posted an extraordinary daily profit of around 10 billion on the final day of 21, sparking questions on what caused this overnight boon that will trickle down to the nation's treasury, right? So I find this article interesting, and the reason why I find that one interesting is because about a couple of days ago, there was this other article that had come out talking about how Turkey's inflation had jumped by about 36%.
My God.
The lira's value plummets, and citizens are flocking to stablecoins. So how do your central bank pencil in a loss, then come up with a gain while your citizens are all fleeing the currency?
Something isn't right there, Jeff. I hate to say
they're all
it,
moving to stablecoins, right? So the Republic of Turkey's economy and the country's native fiat currency, the Turkish lira, continue to experience turmoil as inflation has risen 36% since this time last year. The lira has lost 44% of its value against the dollar, right? So meanwhile, the use of stablecoins in Turkey has skyrocketed, and today 28% of all trades with Tether are paired against the Turkish lira.
God. What?
Inflation in Turkey rises to the highest level in 19 years. So I thought this was just a funny article because I'm looking at the one article and they're talking about, hey, you know what? they're good to go.
Oh, wait
right?
a minute.
They thought they were
back to
they were
back.
losing $5 billion and they're actually making $4 billion. But then
What are the dates
this
on those,
is happening.
Jeff? Those articles? They're like right next to each other. That's very odd.
This was the 4th of January. And this one, the 6th of January.
Okay, so in 2 days, everything got turned around. Okay, makes a lot of sense, right?
Oh, yeah.
Well, here's the weird thing about the stable coins, right? So the stable coins, it depends. You know, if something's pegged, it's on parity, right? 1-to-1. But if it's backed by something, potentially the value could change. But if it's pegged to the dollar and they're going into stable coins, well, here's the other problem is you have the massive inflation. It's like, well, don't worry, I'm in a stable coin. Yeah, but it's paired to the US dollar. I should say the federal note because there is no real US dollar that's owned by the US. It's the Federal Reserve note. Let's say the Federal Reserve note. And that thing is being crushed by inflation. So it's so weird, the whole idea of a stable coin. What's stable? It's just all it is paired, pegged to the USD. Look at this. EC2 2189 says Turkish central banking is a common core math. So there you go. There you go. That's how they got the figure. It's called common core. Remember that, Jeff?
It's amazing.
The old common core math right there. It's like
the old common core.
We lost $4 billion. I'm sorry, we made $5 billion. What? Wait a minute. Sorry. It's like Mr. Bean episode. It's bizarre, man. So what the hell?
Funny. So they're
2 days later
showing that the lira's sluggish year has contributed to a great deal of crypto asset trades with the fiat. It's just, oh my God, it's so funny. It's just like, how do you have these two articles? How is the central bank both gaining and losing at the same time?
Well, either it's some common core math, it's some magic math, it's something along that lines.
Yeah.
Or they're just not telling the truth, Jeff. I mean, it's like, don't worry, we'll just tell them that it's we have 5 billion, whatever it was. We made money. I mean, I don't think anybody cares, but they're trying to prop it up in a manner that makes it look better than what it is. But again, I guess if that's your best bet, if you're running the stable coins that's pegged to the USD and that thing's dropping and that's your saving grace, I would think something more along the lines of gold or, maybe, some Bitcoin or something is that on a longer term hold is going to go up. I mean, all signs point to it's pretty much going to go up. Gold, pretty stable. But again, that's bizarre to me.
Man,
Twitter's just tanking.
The other good news is that Twitter in the past 6 months is down 43%.
Yeah, and then look at it, it's still dropping, Jeff. It hasn't even begun to hit rock bottom. I think it settles in around high 20s.
So year to date, look at they're doing pretty good year to date.
It looks good. Yeah, it looks like it's a straight slide right there, Jeff.
For the past year, we're down about 25%. Over 5 years, though, still got a little bit of a climb when it was down in these low digits.
Yeah, but it's a steep drop coming down the mountain.
Look at this
side of the mountain there.
Look at this. It's been since February, which was its all-time high. It's been on a nice downward spiral.
Yeah, downward trajectory for sure.
Look at that.
Well, you're not going to have any tears lost over here. Sorry to say it.
No.
But yeah, I want to throw this up. This is some good news potentially. I got to like Ron Hammond. You guys know Ron Hammond. He is the director of the government relations over at the Blockchain Association. Also author of the Token Taxonomy Act that was put forth, 3 years ago, Jeff? 4 years? I've lost track of when that puppy's been put out. But Warren Davidson,
2018.
Yeah, when he was with Warren Davidson back in the day. But he put this out and he says, even with the snowstorm adding more gridlock to DC, things haven't slowed down for crypto policy. Congress has plans in early 2022 for hearings, legislation, and future educational efforts. Here are the 3 topics dominating our conversations this week with members and staff. Now, remember, he's part of the Blockchain Association on the Hill, so they're meeting regularly with Congress. And so it's kind of nice for him to update us. And I always love, one thing I like about Ron Hammond is he's always very optimistic. And, even when things aren't great, he has a nice way of delivering it. He doesn't really ever lose his cool. And I think that's a great attribute. First of all, he says stablecoins are front and center and still will be for some time between the Senate banking hearing on stablecoins in December, the crypto CEO hearing in the House, and multiple statements from members of Congress working on stablecoin legislation. Expect a few busy months. But what else is happening in 2022, Jeff, for all this movement? What else do you think is contributing to this?
Congress is going to see all the Democrats get voted out.
It's an election year. That's what it is, an election year. So all of a sudden, oh, wait a minute, all those all those emails that were hitting my office and all those letters that have been coming in, that, through the Connect with Congress, through John Deaton's tool and his crypto law site. Oh, I better think about that. It's kind of like at some point you wake up and you're like, oh my gosh, is it 2022? That's when I needed to start paying off that sofa that I bought 2 years ago. No payments for 24 months, that type of thing. Mm-hmm. And number two, climate impact has skyrocketed in the conversations recently. Large focus around Bitcoin's mining impact in states like New York and Washington. This is a critical moment for the industry as Congress seems eager to push through the talking points and substantively, what is that? Substantively learn more. Stay tuned. Substantively learn more. Stay tuned.
What climate are they talking about? Is it the climate to talk about Bitcoin or crypto asset, or is it?
Well, Jeff, I hate to tell you, but that's probably not the climate impact they're talking about. They're talking about some other type of climate, which
I'll tell you what, the climate definitely impacts my conversation almost daily. I went outside earlier today. I said it was beautiful out. I went outside later today. I was like,
beautiful.
What the hell happened? It was hot.
It was really hot, but it was nicer. It was nice and cold this morning.
I was in the office today. It was cold. That's why I wore this long sleeve shirt.
Totally impacted.
I went outside and I forgot that it was warm, and then I left it on and I walked the dog and it was hot.
Man,
talking about the climate all the time.
Talking about first world problems, Jeff.
Over the past few days, the climate's been beautiful. New Year's Eve, the climate was so nice that we lit a fire outside. It was perfect.
A lot of first world problems there. So I mean, yeah, that's
these are climate issues. These are climate. There's
no climate impact. Listen, at the end of the day, people are like, how do I heat my house? How do I put food on the table? How do I buy the same gas I bought a month ago for 20% more? All that kind of stuff. NFTs have taken the hill by storm, just as it has with mainstream culture. Both sides. Oh, Jeff, just wait until they hear about the metaverse. That's going to flip them. They're just catching up with the NFTs, right?
Yeah, maybe we shouldn't tell them about the metaverse, or how they're.
Well, maybe they
tell
should
them about the metaverse, or heads will explode.
Yeah, I mean, 2021 was the year of NFTs. 2022 is definitely the year of the metaverse, which that means they'll probably find out about it in 2023. It says both sides of the aisle are wanting to learn more about the issue, potentially regulatory issues, what's in it stored for the future. I was thinking that was going to say what's in store for them as far as taxes. That's what I was thinking was coming up, but no. Rather than being critical, there's excitement about what can happen. Final interesting fact about these conversations is that they're expanding outside the scope of the House Financial Services and Senate Banking Committee. Every committee is looking for an angle to discuss crypto, and the industry should view this as an exciting opportunity. And we should view this as a big W, better known as a win, because we are making a difference. John Deaton is leading the charge, and they are starting to get nervous because they're like, we haven't really done much with crypto. And they're pounding my office with phone calls and letters, Jeff.
That's right. Hey, Chip, read this.
The reason I love this channel, it's like watching my dad and his buddy having a few beers, playing dad joke tennis, just lobbing them at each other. Yeah, that's potentially what it is. His dad and his buddy. And my dad and my buddy. Which one's your dad, though? That's what I want to know. Which one is your dad? Who's your daddy?
Who's your daddy?
I want to know. But hey, listen, whatever makes you guys feel great, whatever makes you come back to the channel. Yeah, I'll be the dad. He'll be the buddy. Tomorrow night, he'll be the dad. I'll be the buddy. We're all good. It all works. So, yeah, Jeff, just a bunch of dads.
Reggie's saying, "How do I fund my metaverse habit?"
Oh, geez, you got the habit, man. Ouch.
You can't.
Well, first,
you can't do it. You can't do it anymore.
Get off of ETH. That's the problem. Once that that's what's going to be nice. I want to be interesting to have this conversation same time next year, and what might be a little bit different.
Yeah,
it'd be interesting to see how that changes, Jeff. What that conversation is like, especially when we get more moving away from the high gas fees, and just in a normalcy. I think
gas face.
We got to get away from it. Then there's this story here. It's like, this is an older story, but
with MoneyGram.
I wanted to bring, what's that?
Oh,
no, this is just, again, more good stuff for Florida potentially. DeSantis proposes crypto payment pilot for business. He said in a speech, he proposed the businesses to be allowed to pay state fees in crypto. And of course, Florida Mayor Francis Suarez also supported crypto-friendly changes. Miami Coin, the city's own current cryptocurrency, has been one of the major crypto-related actions in the city by city officials.
Man, I'll tell you what. So you've got this Mayor Suarez, and you've got DeSantis really doing some stuff in Florida. We see what's going on in Miami. We see that DeSantis wants to create some maybe some regulatory freedoms here in Florida for the crypto space. We see the mayor of Tampa. Yeah, she was like-minded. Not sure what's going on up in Tampa, if there's been any action up there. But there's at least 2 to 3 people in the state of Florida that see the writing on the wall in terms of the growth and expansion, of the crypto space here. And then you have people that are running for office, like Eric Adams, I guess, is now the new mayor of New York. But when he was running, he was talking about crypto. So now let's see if he can actually implement it, or if it was just a talking point in order to make himself relevant. And then Chip, there was someone else that's running for, it's going to be running for governor down here. And she's doing the same thing, trying to reach out to the crypto community, but it's a talking point. No idea if she has any real experience doing anything. She definitely doesn't have governing experience, and she doesn't have implementation of crypto experience. So it's just a little, talking point check mark to go in her campaign ads for the time being.
Well, there's also a deeper meaning behind it, because she also she was with Wells Fargo for her campaign, but she basically buried Wells Fargo, saying that they were the whole reason for the 2008 debacle, and they destroyed homes and families and businesses. And it turns out Wells Fargo basically deplatformed her and said, well, we just closed your account. Sorry, we don't need your business. And it works okay on one side of the aisle when you can deplatform one thoughts side, but they're a private business. They didn't want her business. Said good luck. So that's another reason why, but if you punch somebody in the throat, they're going to be like, hey, I'm probably going to punch back in some kind of a fashion. So that's another reason why I think she's headstrong into crypto. But again, Eric Adams up in New York's prime example. He's basically the old mayor 2.0. It's the same thing. Nothing's changed. He went in there, first order of business was extending the executive orders written by the previous one. Nothing different. The face changed, but none of the policies changed, and everything else is just oppressive as always. And that was a really good rant on CNN. That I don't know if I can find it, but I might be able to find that clip. But that was a fun clip there. Let's see if I can find it, Jeff.
Diane Hart saying, keep Pelosi out of Florida.
Unfortunately, she's already bought, not too far from where Jeff and I live, maybe an hour and a half north of us, this massive $12 million property on the water, which we've showed in previous times. But
once again proves that that this whole climate change and the oceans flooding is BS.
Yeah, I guess they apparently don't.
Because why would you buy a $12 million property on the ocean in South Florida if within the next couple of years they're expecting Florida to be flooded along the coastline? Doesn't make any sense. So maybe she knows something. I don't. But did we just get YouTube striked for that? Whoops. XRP, Tenair, all these politicians headed to the beach like that Spain bowl game where they lead the bull to the ocean. That's it. So, did you find it yet?
Yeah, I found it. Here we go.
All right, let's go.
You got to go and add it here. Let me see. I'm hoping this doesn't have. Okay, this is the first one I could find here.
Lubin and Novogratz need more money, so make sure you guys keep moving that ETH. Pay those
Yeah,
gas fees.
well, they don't actually benefit from that, but anyway, this is the bit that I could find.
Oh.
This is Andy, and when Andy Cohen
Oh
went
my
off,
God.
when Andy
This
was
is
all,
pla-
he
This
was
is
hopped up
awesome.
and drunk, but he's like the one thing the
Oh,
Democrats.
this is awesome.
Republicans
gotta-
can agree on is what a horrible mayor he has been.
Wow.
So, sayonara, sucker. Cohen acknowledges he was
Sayonara, sucker.
Oh man,
He
the whole
acknowledges
thing was
he's
awesome.
a little inebriated and under the weather, Jeff, but that's okay. That's when the truth comes out sometimes. You know, there's
Man.
always that one weirdo at the party, the Christmas party, that's like
Husband,
dancing with their
3
tie in their
a.m.
head and remembers none of it the next day. But, you know, unfortunately, we have a lot of, we have our video on our phones and all kinds of stuff. Jeff, this is a pretty good idea. Two buddies, a dad and a buddy hanging out, having beer. Where's the beer, Jeff? How come we don't have any beers with this thing? I mean,
Whiskey. We tried.
look
that
at
one.
Alex D says, let's go, Nancy. Let's go, Nancy. What's up, Alex
Let's
D?
go, Nancy.
I don't give a what you do with your money.
But Al Gore said Florida would be underwater by 2000.
Another person. Doesn't he have, oh, where is he? I think he's in Tennessee or something.
Al Gore is too busy flying around in his private jet.
And the
Flies
Fed,
all
yeah.
over the world.
Well, if you guys remember, you know, gold will crash the Fed at some point. And, you know, listen, the system of debt runs out. It cycles. It got a second life. You know, if you look back in the 70s, people didn't really notice too much because the salaries were increasing. And it's like when they took it off the gold, you know, backed by gold in 71, they're like, oh, look at that. But then look, the houses went through the roof. The mortgages went up. But people that already had mortgages were like, this is great. I'm making way more money. The life is great. But it was all a facade. And that facade has reached a boiling point. I think we're at a scenario where something's got to break there, Jeff, at some point. So, yeah. Yippity yip. So what you looking at there, Jeff?
Just looking through the comments.
Okay. All right. Well,
Or as
I
a
think
point, Miami Beach is a floodplain.
well, good. I can't wait to move there. Lake water. I like being waterfront there. So, Jeff, look, I just wanted to mention to you on the chain.io. Of course, this is where you can find all information on us, the podcast, of course, all of our interviews. And if you guys scroll down right here on the home page, you'll be able to put your email in there, and you'll also be able to put your name and then join the OTC family. And if you want to support us, you can support us even further. We don't have a Patreon, but we have a way to support the channel. It's basically $10 a month, or you can do get 25% discount and do, what is it, 80, Jeff, 90?
Something like that.
Something like that. And there you go. And thank you. I want to thank everybody for that. I want to thank our, many supporters that have dove in there and sort of become, big time supporters of the channel. So thank you guys and gals for that.
I appreciate you guys. And here's a quick support from Frank XRP. If we had any other crypto for the last 4 years, we'd be multi-millionaires.
Good point, Frank, but don't remind me, okay? I mean,
we'd be vindicated.
I believe 2022 is going to be a solid year. I actually believe an all-time high is potentially in the...
And if not, Chip, we'll all be back here in 23 talking about the same thing.
Potentially, Jeff. Yeah, that's a very good possibility. We're talking about something. We'll be talking about getting a lot of different fun topics here, but
we'll be talking about ETH gas fees. Hey, Hans Loaded put in a tweet over the link. Berserker is having he has an after show. He has a show going on right after on the chain. Very cool. Go check it out. Oops.
OTC's on fire. Fire, Jeff. It's on fire.
Fire.
Put it out with the beer, Jeff. Where's your beer, by the way? Peace, Jeff. Chip.
It's in the refrigerator.
Reminder. Guys concerned about a cyber attack in crypto? No. SEC wants to do something. Get rid of bots.
There are some crazy bots.
Hey, guys. Hey, Jamie. Norseman.
Shib. How about some Shiba?
What about Casino Coin? Yeah, what about Casino Coin?
What about it? What happened to Casino Coin?
Still going, man.
You go to the casino.
Still going. They've been hiring some good talent, making some good strides, and they're launching their lobby, which is coming out, I think, very soon. I saw they put out a tweet about that. So that was pretty awesome, man.
That's it.
Oscar. Armor says, I want to buy 1 minute overtime with this. Thanks. Well, I think it's potentially possible. I think we can make that happen. So we're at the 1 hour mark. So we're going to go ahead and spend the next 60 seconds dedicated to Oscar. And yeah, that's what we'll probably end up doing. Lobby is up. Yeah, lobby is up. So there you go. I knew it was coming out. So that's actually really cool.
DC 2189. Woulda, coulda, shoulda isn't good enough. Past is the past.
Past is the past. Yeah, that's right. Woulda, coulda,
Leave
shoulda.
it there. Leave it there.
Yeah, that woulda, coulda, shoulda stuff will drive you insane. You just got to leave it there. Look, if you get out, if you come out with a couple more bucks in your pocket, then you're golden. And you say, okay, reach this hand around, give yourself a pat, move on. Otherwise, you'll torture yourself. But if I did this and if I did that, it's like, no, man, it'll just stop you for life. And that won't be good, Jeff.
Nope. That's all there is. And that was the minute, Chip.
Hang on a second. Was it the minute? That was it? We went burned through a minute like that? Incredible.
Burned through a minute. That was a minute of overtime. And Sir John is blocking people and
The usual, sir.
Please, Jeff. There you go. Bonus round. Okay, that's it. That's all we got, guys. We will see you tomorrow night.
Go to the bonus round.
Show up tomorrow. Thank you for that, Oscar. Really appreciate everybody's super chats tonight and all the support, questions, answers, and all the just bringing the brilliance every night. That's all I have, Jeff. You have anything?
That's it. Just to say, we're here 6 days a week, but I think you said that Sunday through Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we have by far the best and the brightest in the entire YouTube crypto space. So how awesome is that? How awesome is that?
It's the best you can get, Jeff. And that's all we have. We'll see you guys on the next one. Chip and Jeff out. See you.
Out.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.